Welcome and good evening or good morning wherever you are, or maybe it's afternoon, but welcome from this little hamlet in a windswept Storth in Cumbria in northern England. And it's such a joy for my heart to welcome you this night to our first Advent retreat. But first, before we begin, let us spend just a minute or two in a silent reflection, a time of stillness, and bearing in mind that this is a beautiful time for those of us who believe in the Christ child. For Advent for me is a preparation of the rebirthing of the Son of God in my heart. So I would like to dedicate this light this evening to each one of you and to welcome you on this amazing journey as a pilgrim with the Holy Family of Nazareth, who are making their way soon to Bethlehem. So I light this light in recognition of your gift as a co-creator of God, as a soul seeker, seeking stillness, quietude, but more than anything, seeking divine intimacy between your heart and the heart of the beloved. So welcome to each one of you, and thank you for being here. This evening, I want to share with you what comes from my heart. Yes, I've prepared for each night of the next 24 nights of Advent leading up to Christmas Eve. And then we begin a new retreat then, the 12 nights of Christmas, looking at the prayer of Francis, the prayer of peace. But for now, I just want to follow my heart and be guided by my heart. But remember, all that is shared from love for you. So we begin by reading to you from the little book Advent and Christmas, Wisdom from Saint Francis of Assisi. And in the introduction of this little book, it's rather beautiful. And although I wouldn't normally read an introduction, my heart is telling me to share it with you. Many of you will know that Saint Francis of Assisi, in the 1181 to 1182, when he was born, and who died in 1226, abandoned the comfortable life of the medieval Italian merchant family to embrace a life of radical Christian discipleship, as he interpreted being depicted in the Gospel of Jesus. Christ's birth greatly influenced Francis, and especially his understanding of what it meant to be a follower of Christ, the barefoot Galilean. For Francis, to live the life of a disciple of Christ meant that one had to embrace the poverty and humility of Christ as made manifest at Christ's own birth in a stable at Bethlehem. In the life of Saint Francis in 1229, the first account of Saint Francis' life was to be written by Brother Thomas of Celano, and he describes Francis as having created a live nativity, a nativity scene in the town of Greco, Italy. And 3 years prior to the saint's death, this living crib became a reality. And to this day, all those centuries ago, we reenact the first Christmas story in that beautiful crib. Interestingly, in Dublin, where I grew up as a young boy, having been taken from Glasgow in Scotland by my grandmother when I was age 3, we always went every year to see the living, moving crib run by the Franciscans in Dublin. It was an amazing experience. You walk into this room and it's massive, it's huge, and you see all these models of farm animals moving, and it all leads you to a nativity scene, and it takes about 30 minutes. So we go with our heart, and we trust in our heart. So let us be still and know that we are loved. Let us come into the presence of God, and let us sense the peace of God, the peace that knows true intimacy with God. Saint Francis left us the living crib, and in that crib, I want you to feel that you have a part to play in that crib. But first, I'd like to welcome you in part of a short meditation where you are with Mary, the Mother of God. Mary is on a veranda, busily helping her mom. And suddenly, there's a gust of wind. And I want you to sense something happening here. In that gust of wind, an angel comes forward, the Archangel Gabriel. And the Archangel Gabriel is addressing you, for the Archangel has already spoken with Mary, who said yes, that she would conceive the Son of God, that she would bear within her womb the Christ child. But Archangel Gabriel is looking at you in your vulnerability, and he asks you, will you allow the rebirthing of the Christ in your heart? Will you allow the Spirit of God come upon you, for you to experience at midnight on Christmas Eve the rebirthing of the Christ child in your heart? Be still and allow yourself to experience the stillness of God. And in the silence of where you are right now, be aware that you are in the presence of God. With each breath that you take, you are breathing in the very breath of God. And relax now. And the angel Gabriel is looking directly at you. There is an affinity with the message. Will you do this for the I am presence of God? Will you allow your heart be transformed as an ambassador of peace for the children of God? And only you can answer this. No one can answer it for you, because it's a personal invitation by God on this first day, first night of our Advent retreat? Are you willing to allow the Spirit of God breathe over you? My answer has always been the same. Yes, Lord, here I am. I come to be with you. So we pray the simple prayer that we pray many times when we gather on our sister channel, Front Clara's Soulmates for Peace, for daily prayer. And you may wish to say it after me. Breathe on me, O breath of God. Fill me with life anew, that I might love what thou dost love, and do what thou wouldst do. Breathe on all here present, O breath of God. Fill us with life anew, that we might love what thou dost love, and do what thou wouldst do. Take a deep breath, and as you breathe in, experience the touch of God. Experience the gentleness of a loving God, inviting your heart to become part of the Christmas story. But first we must prepare, for it is a long journey. It is a long journey, an arduous journey for the Holy Family of Nazareth. But you've been invited to walk with Joseph and Mary and to be a part of that family. You do not walk in front or behind. You are not a stranger. You are a friend of the Holy Family. And across the desert plain, they will get to know you, and you will get to know them. And they will converse with you, and they will share with you the highs and the lows of this arduous journey. But the one thing will be the Spirit of God is within you already, and you walk in love with Mary and Joseph. So let's now imagine the angel has left, you are filled with gratitude, and like Francis, you become part of a living nativity scene. You are reenacting the real story because it's your story and you are part of the mystery. Sense the peace of God. As you see Joseph assist Mary get on a donkey and wave goodbye to her mom and dad and to their friends and family who can't go with them because they know intuitively that this is not their journey. This is your journey. And they look at you with love and they invite you to take care. And suddenly you're walking out of Nazareth and you can see in front of you the Judean hills, and night is falling. But Joseph, being a more mature man, takes care of his young bride, who is with child, and escorts her across part of an arduous journey, a terrain that's known for thieves and robbers. But as he looks up, you're drawn by his looking up, and there you see the star over Bethlehem. It is a bright star, and the light of that star is touching all three of you to go as pilgrims, seeking to do the will of God. How is your heart feeling? What is happening for you now as you begin this journey with young Mary, barely a teenager, and Joseph, a much older man, but wise in years? Well, we read here the will of God from Francis. We have a beautiful prayer that he said before the crucifix each day. Most high, glorious God, enlighten the darkness of my heart and give me true faith, certain hope, and perfect charity, sense and knowledge. Lord, that I may carry out your holy and true command. What is Francis saying to you in that beautiful prayer? What do you sense him say to your heart? Most high, glorious God, enlighten the darkness of my heart and give me true faith, certain hope, and perfect charity, sense and knowledge. Lord, that I may carry out your holy and true command. We're drawn now to read a small verse from Luke's Gospel, and he says, "Let it be. And the angel said to her, do not be afraid, Mary, for you have found favor with God, and now you will conceive in your womb and bear a son, and that you will name him Jesus. And the angel said to her, the Holy Spirit will come upon you, and the power of the Most High God will overshadow you." The prayers of St. Luke, the words taken from his Gospel, are for you too. For you experience the Archangel Gabriel inviting you to become a part of the Christmas story. And we conclude here with a beautiful prayer, a simple prayer. Lord, being a Christian means that I am called to live a life that involves a degree of uncertainty. Like Mary, I am unsure what your will require of me in the next moment, tomorrow, or many years from now. Strengthen my trust in you so that I may be faithful to you as a loving servant in this world. We are often surrounded, as you well know, with much noise that drowns out the voice of God in our lives. So what can we do as a practical step on this first day, first night of our Advent retreat? Well, the secret is to make time. Time, I know, is precious for you, for many of us, even for those of us who live the monastic life, because the busyness of running a house, of dealing with inquiries, people coming to the door, people in need of support, very often you can find yourself with very little me time. So one has to be disciplined. and do what they do when they go into a hotel. You often find behind the door a piece of card that says, "Do not disturb." So we need to take that card and we need to place it on the door of our heart to others. Do not disturb me, for I am in solitude with God. We need to make time in our busy lives for that pearl of intimacy so that we can hear and discern what God is saying to us. It says here, one way of listening to the voice of God is to create an environment in which to listen to God speaking to your heart so that you may better follow God's will in your life. When in the car or when you're at home, allow yourself a period of silence by not turning on the radio, the stereo, or the television. And there I would add your iPhone and your iPad, or maybe your game box. I don't have one, but friends of the family do. It's important today to stress that God is speaking to each one of us. God is calling each one of us to divine intimacy. But the sad thing is, not many are hearing because they're so busy doing for others. And that includes nuns and monks and holy men and women of God. And monasteries and convents are no exception. It may not be easy for you to find that time, especially if you're a grandparent and you're looking after your grandchildren. But try and make time in the coming days ahead and reflect on the words that we share with you. I'm aware I am speaking with you, but I'm also aware on an intuitive level that the Spirit of God is speaking to you as well. And there we say, be still. Be still and know that God is here. I would like to play this beautiful song for you by a dear friend who is a Jesuit priest. And I met him about 18 years ago, and he is a beautiful man. And his song is titled, "I Knew You Would Come Home." Enjoy.
I have dreamt so long that we would meet again. I never doubted you. I knew you won't return. I have longed to see the moment you would come to me. To love me, and know the love we share. Oh, I trusted you. I loved you so. I hoped in you. I knew you would come. Oh, oh, I believed you were here. Sometimes my heart could see you. Oh, I believed in you somehow could sense you near me. still now. And remember those beautiful words. I trusted you, and I knew you would come home. These are the words of God, speaking to your heart as we begin this amazing journey together, as pilgrims, as ambassadors of peace, walking with the Holy Family of Nazareth, and also walking in the footsteps of a 12th century mystic, an eco-spiritual warrior, whose love of God is touching our hearts at this time, as we follow in his footsteps, to embrace the Christ within, and to embrace the love that we will receive in our intimate moments with Joseph and Mary. Leonardo above, in Cry of the Earth and Cry of the Poor, he says this: the Franciscan universe is never dead. Everything makes up a grand symphony, and God is its conductor. The Franciscan universe is never dead. What beautiful words. So let us now, as we begin this amazing journey, a journey of love, but a journey with hope in our heart. We may not be feeling hopeful. We may be feeling downtrodden. We may be feeling weary. We may be sad, discouraged, or helpless. We may be feeling that we're lacking self-worth, maybe purpose, a lack of purpose in our lives. But remember the beautiful mantra that I leave with you this night. I am a child of God. You may wish to say it. I am a child of God. I am whole. I am perfection. I am complete. I am a child of God. What is those words saying to you right now? I am whole. I am perfection. And I am complete. Your ego, your mind will tell you you are not perfect. You are not complete. It is your heart wherein lives the I am presence of God. And it's in that space, that sacred oasis of love, that we should be listening to. And if we tune in and hear those words, let us honor them. Let us respect them. Because we are worthy. We are worthy as a child of God to make this journey together. And on Christmas morn, to be a part of that live nativity scene that Saint Francis created in Assisi. Each one of us has an important part to play in the coming days. And the moment we switch off the mind and allow the heart to speak, we will be given words to welcome, to nourish, to nurture, and to practice each day. It's not easy hearing that you are whole, perfect, and complete. When someone you may be living with is telling you the opposite. But I ask you, whose voice are you listening to? Is it your own voice? The voice of ego? The voice of pain? The voice of rejection? Or is it the voice of love? God's love. Be still and allow those words touch your heart. Because you are a child of God, and you are on this journey as an invited guest by God. Experience the love, experience the joy, and experience the peace. And allow Mary and Joseph welcome you with open arms. Be still and sense the peace. Sense the peace. Be still and be at peace. Because you are love. You are a child of love. And we conclude by reading to you a simple one-sentence prayer from Saint Francis. Merciful God, by your grace alone, may we make our way to you. And my prayer for you tonight, is that the moment you surrender your heart to God is the very moment that the Spirit of God will allow you to see, to hear, and experience the touch of God. So I just want to say thank you for your company here this evening. And I trust that you will come back again, and that you will enjoy being a part of this retreat. But for now, take care until we meet again. God bless you.